So in this video, we're going to go over how to replace the hood, or as they might say over on the other side of the pond, bonnet actuator in a Porsche Boxster 986. So the 986 is, this one is a 2001 that I've got here. And this is, again, we're replacing the bonnet actuator. That part is, if you've got the little release over next to the driver door, down in here, if you're pulling this and it's making just a tiny little bit of noise, or it's not popping the hood at all, that sort of thing, but you know the electrics in the car okay, you don't have a dead battery, you know, maybe the rear one works or that sort of thing, you might have a bad actuator, because it starts, when it starts to go, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So the first step here is to open the hood, which might actually be the hardest part. I don't know, I've never done this before. But hopefully you get your actuator, the one that's in there, in a state that, you know, it'll actually do what you want it to do. And then we're gonna start getting to work here. So once we got the hood open, the first thing I did here was start to pull off the rubber sort of seal around the front here. So that was the first thing I did. Now the next thing we're gonna do here is we're gonna need to take off this plastic piece here. I haven't done this before, but it looks like there's 3 little sort of plastic screws. So we're gonna get like a coin and try to crank those and see if we can get those out, or a screwdriver, something like that. So give me a second here, grab a tool, we'll see how that goes. Right, now I got some change to help me with this. So the way these are set in, there's 3 of them here that I found so far. There's this one right by the trunk, and that one. So this first one I was able to get out with a quarter. It was super easy to just give it a turn and then pull it out. But these other ones are sunk in so far I can't get to them with a quarter. Maybe you might be able to, I don't know. So I'm gonna try dying here and see if that can get these bad boys out. Hope you like my excellent camera work here. All right, having some trouble with that one. Let's try this one over here. All right, I think I got that one kind of loose. So this plastic piece here just kind of like pulls up once you get the thing to the right orientation. I think you want it to be kind of sideways so that groove is running straight across it that way, and I think that's the way that gets it pops open. Yeah, there we go. All right, so you can also just use a screwdriver here. I was making that way more complicated than it needed to be. Get that lined up again so it goes straight across, and then if you can get your finger or something down in here. Usually this is not a part of the car people really see, so you can be a little rougher with it. There you go. Pop that out. So now make sure you save these little guys here. I'll set these out of the way, so I don't need this change anymore. Oh, hey, there's a 4th one there. Look at that. All right, sweet. So looks like there's 4 of them. We'll turn this one sideways too. I also had a lot of dirt and grime in these. You might have to actually like get a sponge or something to even clean them out to get to that little groove. But after that's done, you should be able to just pull off this piece here. All right, so now I got this piece off, and now we can see our actuator, like the tip of it here. So again, if you got the part here, this is what it looks like when you get it. Mine costs like, I don't know, 70 bucks or something like that with shipping, maybe 80, you know, for whatever parts place you want, that sort of thing. But this is the thing you're looking to get. So you can see that cable down there. So next we're gonna figure out how to get that thing out and get this thing in. All right, so to get at the full actuator here, which starts here at this thing, you gotta pop a tab off over here on the liner and sort of pull that down, get that a little out of the way. And then you'll see the whole assembly here. Now mine's got like wrapped in foam and stuff like that with a rubber band, so clearly somebody's done this before. You know, this car's, I think, gone through like 7 owners or something like that. It's 20 years old, I don't know. This seems a little sketchy to me, but whatever. So you can see that there's, make sure you save that tab that you pop out so you can pop it back in to the liner when you're done. Anyway, so get the thing out. You sort of just kind of get the liner out of the way a little bit. And you pull this thing out, you'll see that it's wired up here, a little black thing. And there's pins on the side, so you got to squeeze those, and then it'll pop right out. So now it's disconnected. Now you can see a little better here. The pins on the side I had to squeeze to get that out. So now I got this part out. Next is this like little rubber tip. You can see this in the new one. That sort of keeps it in place here. So that's pushed through normally, but the thing you want to do, I just used a screwdriver here. And you just sort of push at the soft, it's pretty soft rubber, so you just kind of push it and push it through. And eventually it'll just kind of pop out all the way. So I got this here. So now we're down to this last bit here, which is the final edge going into the box here. You can see here it's like the double plastic ring, and that's a bit harder than the soft black that we just popped through. So it's gonna take me a little while here to figure out what the best way is to get that out. All right, so I don't know if this is the way you're supposed to do this, probably not. But what I've just done here is there's this like metal thing top on the top that I think is just there sort of, just gonna keep it from getting dirty and stuff like that. And I just sort of bent that over, and you can see here how that mechanism works, how that little wire pulls out and then is held on by this little thing. But now I should be able to just kind of like, it's sort of a tension fitting here, but I should be able to just pop this baby out. So I managed to just, we're grabbing here and pulling and sort of pulling on the end here to get this little sort of flashery thing, which you can't see. And I had to get that guy out and then this thing out, but now the whole thing's out. I'm just gonna have to feed it through here to kind of get the whole thing out of the vehicle. And there we go. So here's the old one, complete with rubber bands and all that kind of thing here. And we're gonna swap it out for this new bad boy and see if this guy works a little bit better. So I'm gonna basically go through that process in reverse, basically. So I'm gonna feed this baby through there and get it through that hole. And now we can just go ahead get that bad boy a little close to where it's supposed to be. All right, so I got my thing wedged back in there. I just used that same foam. It turned out it was glued to the old one. I don't know if that's normal or not, but I had to sort of peel it off. It was kind of a nasty job, but now we just got to put this thing back together. So we'll get the tab of the liner up in here. There's a little tab that folds in there. And try to get these little guys back on as best you can. All right, so I got one guy popped right back in there to match the swing over there, and then there's one down here. So one up here is actually, that's like a bolt access. You should have a little tab like that I'm missing. So you might have had to pull that one off. But next up is just the sort of compression fitting to get the seal back on. All right, so I got the seal back on, and it really is pretty simple. You just kind of like slide it back onto the top and push it down. And you got to kind of pull up the lip a little bit to make sure that sort of reaches over the, the cover here kind of thing. But then that's back in place really easy. That was way easier than I expected to be. And then last but not least, we got this guy over here that we're going to throw back on. So first thing, you got to get it kind of, this is going to be another two-hand job, so I'm going to have to set the camera down, but you got to kind of wiggle it to get the latch through, and then get it lined up, and then pop those 4 pieces back in and give them like a 90-degree turn to hold that thing down. So we're going to do that next. All right, so getting these things lined up into those slots and turned was a little harder than I thought it would be, and I wound up having to pull this back off first. So you might want to slide this back on after you've got this plate piece back in. But after that, we're done. We'll get the completed project. I'm gonna close this bad boy up and really hope that it actually opens. We'll find out. And do a moment of truth here. Let's see what happens. Hey, look at the sound of that. That's a hood that just popped open. Now, I don't know if you're